El Salvador. Hello everybody, this is John Caligura coming today with my review of X-Men Apocalypse, and it is a little bit late, but it's still going here. The movie was released like a week ago here in Europe, and it's getting released this weekend in US. So I know I'm a little bit late on this one, but it's finally here, okay? I've seen it, so I have my opinions on it, and before going into this movie, I was kind of skeptic because the first reviews were very low rated, so to say, or they were mixed. Okay, people didn't, or the critics didn't necessarily hate it, but they were kind of saying that yeah, compared to what we have gotten with First Class and Days of Future Past, this is kind of disappointing. And I won't say that it is disappointing because it's not, but yeah, it's a lesser experience overall. So here's my simple plot synopsis of the movie X-Men Apocalypse. In Sabanur. In X-Men Apocalypse, the first mutant ever, the godlike figure Apocalypse, or En-Sabanur, is awakened and has to recruit 4 horsemen uh, to help him on his mission to cleanse the earth of the humans and to simply become, well, the big leader of humanity and Earth and shit, I suppose. Kind of a typical villain plan, you know. So, to start off, X-Men Apocalypse is not the same dramatic and emotional uh, and character-driven movie as we maybe are used to with First Class and Days of Future Past and also the first X-Men movies. But when it comes to action, this movie delivers. The end battle sequence is quite amazing to watch. Quicksilver has another slow motion scenes that is just fucking mind blowing. It is amazing to watch. It's funny, it's witty, and it just looks super super cool. And when you go to big when I go to watch a big blockbuster on the screen, what I want is entertainment, and that's what you get here. You get entertainment, even though sometimes it can be a little bit dumb and silly and a little bit. It's still funny and entertaining to watch throughout, and the action, it's an action spectacle. It looks great and it sounds great and it's entertaining to watch. Like I said, Quicksilver has an amazing slow motion scene, but also they build up on more on his character. He actually has more of a motive and definitely more screen time in this movie, which is great because he was probably the coolest thing with Days of Future Past, and that is saying something because that movie was pretty dope. And I like that they build out his character, you know, flesh him out and give him a more serious arc and actually give him a reason to fight in this movie, not just because, hey, I want to use my powers to be cool, you know, like in Days of Future Past. And I really like that. Magneto. It seems like Magneto just gets more layers and layers and layers for every movie we get, and in this movie it is the same. We get another reason for why Magneto joins Apocalypse, and it's just like holy shit, that dude has had a rough time. And you really are sympathetic with him. And I also think that Magneto in this movie was not as douchey and straightforward as he have been in previous movies. Even though I think the not to spoil anything, but how his character turns out overall towards the ending was a little bit like okay, I guess, but seems a little bit out of character, a little bit too cheesy, but yeah, I liked him as overall as a character. Michael Fassbender is great in the role, and yeah, there was some really even more dramatic and emotional depth to the character. Like it wasn't enough with him being a Holocaust survivor and all that. You know, it gets more darker, which I like. That is also the most dramatical thing about this movie is Magneto, I have to say. I also think the introductions to the new characters with Nightcrawler, Cyclops, Jean Grey, and all that. We also have Storm and such, Psylocke. They are short, but they are as informative as they should be. They are not super exposition heavy, which I like. I do not want too much exposition in a movie like this. We get them short. It's short, but good introductions. We get why they're there and what's their purpose, so to say. I like that, having the short introductions, because we want to get to the cool action to see Cyclops shoot his laser beams, Nightcrawler just teleports like, and you know all that shit, and Jean Grey doing whatever she's doing. You know, she has some cool telekinesis power though. And overall, the second half was really good. Yes, the first half was actually kind of slow, and dragged on a little bit too much. And like I said, the introductions are short and such, but it's just all this stuff with Apocalypse, you know, finding his horsemen and looking out for mutants. That is the things that really drags. And also, yeah, Apocalypse as a villain, not the greatest. You know, he isn't like Mr. Freeze from Batman Robin. He isn't like a totally cartoonish villain that you're just sitting there facepalming to, but he's kind of like Ultron. It's a villain you watch and you feel like they're kind of underpowered and underutilized, and they seem to be more menacing, or they think they are more menacing than what they turn out to be, kind of. So I would have liked Apocalypse to be a little more biffy and to be a little more out there. Oscar Isaac in his performance was okay, but like I said, he's not the greatest villain. I mean, he works, but that's, yeah. And I also think that some of his horsemen, except Magneto really, all the other ones, Storm, Archangel, and Psylocke, they kind of doesn't get that much to do. Yes, they are in the action and they are fighting, but that's kind of it. Like I said, Magneto, he gets a fleshed out reason for being there. The other ones, they're just kind of there. And feels a little bit underutilized and underused overall. That's my personal opinion. I would have liked to see more things done to them. But like I said, the second half of this movie, after we get that little kind of draggy half and such, is great. And when like I said, when the action scenes comes towards the end and the end battle starts, it's quite amazing to watch. I really, really like that stuff. Of course, I haven't touched on Mystique yet. That it has been kind of controversial. Everybody's saying Jennifer Lawrence just in for the paycheck, that she sucks as Mystique. I thought Jennifer Lawrence was really good in First Class and Days of Future Past, but yeah, I gotta say, she gets a little too much screen time in this movie. Like I said, we got some characters that doesn't get as much screen time, and it feels like Mystique's character gets a little too much, and also gets a little, what can I say, a little too preachy. It feels like she gets a bigger role than maybe she should have had, because she's Mystique and she's really not an X-Men per se, so it's kind of like, But yeah, overall, I think Jennifer Lawrence is good as Mystique. I gotta say, she's not bad. I just think people, or fans overall, are just a little bit upset that she's getting like the big role in this movie, which I guess is fine. I can kind of agree on that. And I also think the dialogue in this movie is a little off at times. It is a little bit corny, cheesy, and a little bit cringeworthy. It's like sometimes they want to address something that just happened and it's supposed to be a dramatic scene where some characters say something about their past, and it just comes off like very cheesy standard stuff, not that well written actually, which, yeah, I guess I can take that when we have an awesome action scene with Beast battling all out and Jean Grey just going full apeshit and Quicksilver running in slow motion. Yeah, I can take that. My final words on X-Men Apocalypse, not Apocalypse, is big in scale with plenty of action and characters, makes this an explosive X-Men experience, but not the greatest. My final score for X-Men Apocalypse is going to be a 7 out of 10. I think that is a reasonable score. And if you go by scores, then you will see that, yes, I will say that it is on par with the first X-Men. The first X-Men, a little more character-driven. Apocalypse, definitely a more action movie. And yeah, I think, yeah, because of not having the same dramatical core as First Class and Days of Future Past, it doesn't really get up there. And I can kind of understand where the critics were going, but I still must say I had a really fun time watching this movie, and I enjoyed the 2 hours and 20 minutes or something, or how long it was. I was never bored and I wasn't really checking my watch or something. So it's a good, entertaining blockbuster with some cool ass action. That's what I can tell you. I've been Uncle Gruga. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like or dislike if you didn't like it. Leave a nice comment or a mean comment, and of course, see you later.